lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan, and with me today, one of my good buds, Chris Anderson.
What's up?
Super stoked to have him back on. We've been talking about doing a creator commentary for a little while, but we both are very busy, and I'm glad, Chris and I talked at IC3, which shout out to that amazing con that was at this point when this post, it'll be about 2 weeks since it happened. So talking in person, we're like, we got to just get this done already. So I'm very excited to go through this book. This book was a long time in the making, too. I almost forgot about it. Like because it kickstarted and like obviously there's a lot of work that goes into it. This book is not just a comic, but it is also role-playing game. Yeah, so we'll get into this stuff. I'm very excited to talk about it with you. Mark Sable is the writer on the book. I love the design of the cover. This is you, right? That designed this cover as well?
No, actually, well, I drew the pencil drawing for the cover, and then my friend Mira Lark, who's she paints backgrounds for like the Castlevania animated show, and she's an animator. She went and painted over the top of it. And then David Acampo, who wrote my other books, two of my other books, Lost Angels and Spectral, is also a graphic designer by day, is Batman by night. And he did the design for it.
I love it, dude. It just it looks like an old artifact, like it's been lost, It's really dope.
In fact, I sent it to a friend and he called me and he was pissed because somebody had spilled coffee on it. But they did, and I was like, it's just supposed to look like you dragged it out of your basement. It's hard to see on the screen, but
that's coffee?
It looks like it, but it's not really.
Oh, okay. All right. I was gonna say, did it really happen like that? That would be kind of a cool story.
I mean, it might have been. He's crazy when it comes to the graphic design stuff, so.
Got some the monster card art that came with this too. You got like a murderer's row of talent right here, bro.
Yeah, and for issue 2, we plan on just upping the game, actually having a little monster manual instead of cards.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's really sick. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Max Dunbar, Jeremy Hahn, Man House, Jeff Johnson, Tom Neely, Dan Panosian, Jim Rugg, Tim Seeley, and Kyle Stram. Like, crazy. And then not only, I'll give a shout out to the letter, Thomas Maurer. Also, you already mentioned Mira Lark on cover. You got the Chick Track art by Ryan Brown.
Yes, Ryan Brown, yep.
Layout design, David Acampo, like you said. Module editing, layout design, Jacob Hurst. I just want to shout all those people out as well.
Yeah.
So take me into, oh yeah, look, coffee stain right there. So take me into this story. Like, how did this come about? How do we enter this world kind of cold? This dude's like laying literal shit.
Yeah, so it's kind of in the world of sort of like D&D and fantasy role-playing games, the original way that you played is you would kind of start out at you gain levels. So you would start out at like a 0 level in this game. You're nobody. In fact, this guy is called a gog farmer, a gong farmer. He's like he's a shit shoveler, basically. He collects shit.
Yeah.
So you can even see in the very first page, there's like a guy like crapping in this trench in the background behind him.
Oh, dude, I missed that.
Yeah.
That's great. The little sound effect, the plop.
Yeah. So he's like literally laying in this stream of shit that this whole town like craps into, and he goes and collects it and like brings it to farmers. So there's this. If you turn the page, you'll see the this sort of village. This is the village that we're brought into. And there's all these characters in here, and this guy that's got him got the sword at him. He's a tax collector working for the bishop and the prince bishop and all these people just trying to get swindle money out of these poor people. And so as you sort of and you'll see like in the sides, it's sort of this is sort of like a map you would see in a module, just to kind of give you the layout of the land. There's the woods and there's like the Cyclopean ruins up in the corner and stuff like that. And yeah, so you're dropped in with this guy who's like, he's nothing. And he basically kind of says, what happens is there's a sacrifice every year to these underground people that no one ever sees. And the villagers obviously want to stop them. So they instead of paying the tax collector, they spend their money on these adventurers to go down deep
Mhm.
and well, they come back looking like this.
Dude,
Um,
I love this right here. Also, are these digital screen tones or because I know you're traditional, so are you adding that later, or is that something you did on the actual original art?
No, I add them later. What I do is I have a bunch of screen tones from I got from Japan, from people's travels there. I have them just bring back weird ones, and then I scan them really high res, and I'll
Hmm.
use them on commissions and things like that. But for when it's a big bulk of work, a big group of work like this, I yeah, they're high resolution scans that I pop in there.
It's dope, dude. I love it.
This was weird. I was really so okay. So at this point, it's probably been 6 or 7 years ago that I started this book.
Hmm.
It just took a really long time because I was working a full-time job at the time. I before I made the leap to becoming a full-time cartoonist for other reasons just to get the module done and ready to go. It took a long time. And then there was like just a big space of like maybe 2 or 3 years in between that where Mark was working on some other things and just didn't have the time to run the Kickstarter yet. So this book's about 6 or 7 years in the making. So when I started doing this, I didn't really know what I was doing with the screen tones yet. There's sort of this amateurish quality to it that I think because this is a pays tribute to the very beginnings of Dungeons and Dragons, the art was crude and a little bit weird. It works, you know?
Hmm.
So there's always something to like that balance of skill and naivete that I'm always attracted to. And now when I do issue two, I'm gonna have to remember how to not do screen tones correctly again in order to match it.
Yeah. No, I love this too. I love how the blood like is going over the tone as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
I like that
yeah. I
effect you
played
did there.
around there. So you start to get introduced to these other characters, and there's these sort of nuns, this sort of religion that's ruling over the town with this nun, and yeah, you're introduced to like this little guy is sort of like an elf, sort of like a pimp. He like runs the brothel.
Flesh peddler.
Yeah.
It's a nice way of
Um,
calling him a pimp. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then you get introduced on the right page to like the farmer and his wife. She's a cut wife, so basically she like gives abortions.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask you that when we talked. Like, I've never heard that term cut wife
yeah,
before.
yep, yep. And then their son is sort of has some special needs, so they're trying to take care of him, and they have a rough life, and then you're introduced to this sort of mercenary lady, and the sort of the thieves guild, the head of the thieves guild, this guy who's being brought in on this like well, you see this child walking around with like
Yeah,
a
this
bum,
one right
like a
here.
Tiny Tim kind of character.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It turns out, as you can see as he's hopping away, I don't know if you can see, but it's just tied up. It's not actually a bum leg.
Yeah.
But this guy is sort of brought around on a like one of those chairs that people carry.
Hmm.
And he just has these kids who are, like Oliver Twist kind of kids that he runs to steal things.
Yeah, this
So
is fucked up right here.
yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Him, maybe you ain't crippled enough. Cuts the fucking
Yeah, yeah.
saws the fucking leg
Yeah,
off.
so we go really hard with this book because the idea is like your grandma thought that you were worshiping Satan and doing deranged things in the church basement playing this game in the 80s during the Satanic Panic. And this book is what she thought that you were playing. So we try to go really hard with it.
Yeah, no, I mean you fucking like come at the reader full force, right? Like you're
Yeah.
introduced to so many things within like what are we like? I think that's 8 pages, about seven,
Yeah.
8 pages. You like there's so many different characters that like now that is kind of like I don't know, I've never played D&D, but
Right.
what is it? The group that's on the campaign.
Yeah, it's your yeah, group. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know
There's a
what
term
I
for
feel
it.
like there's a word for it, but
I think
whatever.
there is, and
But
I'm
I love it though,
blanking that.
because like you are
Yeah.
introduced, and then like you come into this, dude, and you meet that same mercenary, right? She's in the bedroom, so she's obviously she likes to partake with the ladies herself.
Yep. Yep.
Got everybody smoking some pipe stuff in here.
Yep.
Fucking
It's
orgy scene.
the orgy. He's and then these two guys. He's the blacksmith. and the
Right here.
butcher
Yeah.
down here. Yep, there are a couple, and then you got this apprentice down here, and then this other guy on the bottom, the farthest bottom right is an archaeologist. He's doing some rubbings of some glyphs that he found here. So yeah, we're really dive in and get you introduced to these people real fast. And then you find out that the shit shoveler and the princess of the in the bishop's keep is there in love.
I love it, dude. Because you wouldn't think this like the fucking dude swimming in shit, and then
Yeah.
he's with like the most beautiful woman in the town.
Right.
It's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep. And gets busted by the tax collector there.
The
And
tax
then
collector reminds, I can't fucking think of the movie, but he reminds me of somebody from like is either a late 80s or early 90s movie that was like I think it was like a kid's movie.
hmm.
Fuck, I
Yeah,
can't
I
think of
don't
the
know.
actor. He reminds me though, that mustache and the fucking,
Yeah.
the curly hair in the back. It reminds me
Yeah,
of him.
he's
So
very Alan Rickman-y, I guess you'd say, with like a Snidely Whiplash
yeah.
mustache.
Even kind of reminds me a little bit of Dustin Hoffman and Hook,
Sure. Yeah,
a
totally.
little bit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love this right here. This is like whenever you do monsters, I mean, not to say that I don't love your other stuff, but you do some of the most disturbing looking creatures and I say that in the best way possible. I mean that in the best way possible.
Oh,
But
no,
like
I
this
take that back.
design right here, dude, is fucking amazing. I love this page.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I try to go for it. I try to be as weird as I can. I just
Yeah.
love I love a smooth line that overlaps into folds, and I love texture, and
Yeah.
combine those things together, and you can make some really fucked up looking monsters.
And then these like, anarchist KKK type fucking hooded guys. I love this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you'll notice that the symbol of the religion is sort of like a combination of a crucifix and a swastika.
Yeah. Yeah, I did notice that. Dude, look
Yeah.
at this shit.
Yeah. So everybody's kind of all the loved ones that you just met a little bit ago are getting sort of kidnapped and taken away on the back of these skeleton horses and brought to God knows where for God knows what. And so now these people have banded together to to take them down. So if you see that picture there, that's not the full party. It's the party. That's the word we were
That
looking for.
is, there we go.
It's not the full party, but you've got the blacksmith with his hammer here, and you'll notice like his mustache is braided nose hair.
Yes. It's amazing.
And then you got the butcher here. She's got this sort of mask over her face. This was way before lockdown or pandemic or anything. Um,
Oh, crazy. Yeah, I
I
didn't even
was
think
just
about that.
I
I
was
was,
predicting, what was to
yeah,
come.
you're a prophet, dude.
And like you got the farmer, everybody's ready to go. Like they're not gonna stand by and let this, their loved ones just get taken.
I always love this type of character too. The one that's like super cocky. He's a douchebag. He's collecting, and then like when he gets turned on, I love like, no, you fucking aren't. Like I could just like hear it in my head, him
Uh-huh.
whining, and then you see the sweat just dropping down, beating down his face.
Oh yeah.
So good.
So off they go to find them, and you're introduced to this sort of ranger character who is in the woods, and then also like a wood elf with these antlers. So the elves, there's the archaeological one, like the high elf and the wood elf, and they do not get along, even though they're both elves. They're from different classes. So,
Hmm.
but the ranger and the wood elf are going to help lead them through the woods to where their loved ones are. And then you'll see on the next page here that these things are coming their way, lit up with this fungus all over them. So you've got this like owl woman. She's got like fungus all over her coming out of her vagina, you
Yeah,
know.
I have to ask you, how much fucking direction were you given for these creatures? Or were you basically just told, do whatever you want to do?
I was told there was an owl woman. I was told that there was a tree, and I was told that there was a boar.
And that's it.
It might have said something about the boar having pendulous breasts.
Oh my God, dude. Pendulous breasts.
Yeah.
That phrase is not gonna go out of my head the rest of this day, dude. That is amazing. Pendulous
Yeah.
breasts. That's
So
a
this
that's an
this
amazing
kid
description.
this kid gets swooped up by the owl there, and
Yeah. No, this is I love I'm like I said, like these designs for the I've never seen them, and I think that's what I love about like your creatures that you design, like that you're I mean, even the stuff that you do, like like Swamp Thing and Man Thing, like you put your own spin on it, but
Yeah.
seeing like these things that come straight from your head that don't exist anywhere, I mean, I fucking really dig them, dude.
I try, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I try to walk this sort of balance between the expectation with, use your example for Swamp Thing, what's expected, and then my own artistic journey that led me to do things that tend to stick out for people or things that I like lines that appeal to me. And when I
Hmm.
combine them, it tends to work. So
Yeah.
I'll keep doing it.
I love this. Just the splat and the bone
Oh,
cracking.
yeah, you see the archer shot her through the eye, shot the owl lady through the eye, but in she drops the kid and the kid lands on a rock. And
Yeah, it's
yeah.
just amazing the sequence of panels here, how you see him shoot it, then you get this shot, and then boom. Love
Yeah,
the
I try to I really, that's the thing I really study a lot is the design of the page and the flow of the eye and everything. I really try to get it nailed.
yeah. This right here, the splitting of the tree,
Yeah.
fucking sick. And then when we see the reveal of the butcher, it's a fucking pig woman.
Yeah, yeah, she's like a half orc. So in the original designs, I don't know if they were like Errol Otis or if Bill Willingham designed them or what in the original drawings, because Bill Willingham, of Fables fame, was one of the original illustrators of Dungeons and Dragons.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So the orcs sort of look like pigs. So, it's got this pig fighting a pig.
Fucking nose looks like very phallic looking, dude. Is that
Well,
is that purposeful
hey,
or
that's on you, man.
all right? Yeah, I guess that's just where my mind goes. That's weird. I'm leaving
Yeah.
this in. I'm gonna leave that in the video. I just love these creatures, man. And I love how the fungus that you were talking about growing out of the owl woman's vagina, like how
Hmm.
you can see it here. Like it's like almost a symbiote,
Yes.
but not. Like
Right.
it's so much more than that. These like little mushrooms popping off.
Yeah, it doesn't really like come at you or grow real fast. I think
Hmm.
the idea is that you would have to touch it or somehow, or, you know, for it to infect you. But as you see there, they're sort of starting to change, and then you notice that these creatures that have been set upon them are just their loved ones that have been magically, made to look like some of their loved ones.
Hmm.
More of them have been taken, but along the way they drop these off to make them look like so they've ended up killing their own loved ones, basically.
And then it mentions like there are those below, even
Yeah,
those below.
right, right, right. So that's what the sacrifice
Yeah.
is supposed to be for. So they're kind of dealing with the trauma of this.
Dude, this fucking page too, right here. How long does something like this take you to draw?
Not long. Not long. The brush does all the work. Really. I don't know. My hatching is very fast.
Hmm.
The my squiggles are supposed to be sort of spontaneous and have an energy and flow to them. And then I use just really jacked up brushes to get textures and things like that. So I don't know. It maybe takes me like to draw something like that, maybe three hours, something like that, maybe.
Jesus, that's fucking nuts.
That was the first drawing that I did for the book, actually. These next two pages, I think, are the first. Yeah, yeah, the first two drawings I did for the book to just kind of show proof of concept where I wanted to go. I think I did the designing on the page for this. Oh no, I didn't actually. I'll take that back because I have drawings of the designs for them.
So you're not working sequentially then. You're going back and forth. I mean, I know most artists probably aren't doing like, oh, I'm going to do page one first.
I
But
usually, I
yeah.
usually do. It just so happened that I think he gave me a snippet of. See, okay, so to take it all the way back, I met Mark a few years before that at a drink and draw and just introduced myself to him. When Lost Angels came out, I was at Comic-Con and I gave a copy to Chris Burnham. Chris was rooming with Mark at the time, and Mark saw the book and was like, "Burnham, you have all these crazy artistic friends. I had no idea that I had never heard of this guy before." It was because it was my first book.
Mhm.
And so he was like, I got to meet this guy. So he met me at the bar that night and was like, look, I've got two different books that I'm working on right now. One's a Dungeons and Dragons book, one's like a future tech book. And I was like, well, the future tech book is outside of my comfort zone. Let's do that.
Yeah.
He was like, actually, let's do the Dungeons and Dragons one. And I was like, sweet. I haven't played since high school. And he's like, well, I run a Dungeons and Dragons campaign every week. And so for the last like 7 years at this point, I've been playing it every Wednesday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um, and yeah, and so the he gave that first snippet from those first two things that he gave me, I think was just 2 pages, and those were the first 2 pages. So I just drew them and showed him. Then I went back and drew it from the beginning.
This right here, dude, the
Mm.
fucking sword
Mm.
popping the eye out
Yeah.
makes you fucking makes you shake, dude, you know?
Yeah, don't fall into a pit of spikes.
Yeah, dude. Fucking crazy.
And that very last panel, I love doing these when this shot.
This one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Jeff Johnson a long time ago, Drink and Draw, gave me a book and he said, find compositions in film that you like, pause them and draw them real fast. And a couple times I saw like shots of people looking in holes, and then the person looking down is flipped upside down, and it gives you this sense of even more depth. And
Mm-hmm.
so I use it every chance that I get. I just was noticing that.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Love this too. He's like pirate looking guys. Or
Yeah,
I mean pirate looking skeletons, not guys, but
yeah.
and this is also then the same fucking like fungus that's growing out of them. It's the same shit.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
all over. It's animating them.
Yeah,
You
these are
know,
some awesome pages right here too.
thanks, man.
This pit reminds me of the you it reminded me of when that movie what scene was which saw was it? It was one of the saws where she falls into the pit of needles.
Oh, I didn't
You
see
never
that.
see that? Oh my God, it's
No.
so fucking unnerving because they're just like all these used like hypodermic needles and she falls into them and they're just like just even talking about it is making me cringe.
You
But
know
it
what's really messed up is I can draw this shit all day, but I cannot watch torture porn.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's different when you're like it's also different drawing it than like watching a movie that
Well, I
like
think I
look
also like stuff like this comes up in my work a lot for some reason. I mean, I like to draw weird stuff, and people have, my career has been pulled into the horror genre quite a bit.
Mhm.
And so I think that I just try to avoid watching stuff so I'm not influenced by it. Obviously I'm gonna come up with something and be like, this is such a great idea, and someone's gonna be like, oh, that was just like that. But I try to sort of avoid that, just like I avoided, even looking at comics for like 10 years, just so that well, not because life, but also what happened with that is I didn't get the influence of like the 2000s style of art, and it just sort of evolved into my own thing. So I like to distance myself from things that people associate me with. You know what I mean? It's
I
weird.
totally hear you. I mean, I'm kind of probably similar to that with like my YouTube channel with like interviews. Like if I know I'm going to interview somebody that just did one, like I don't want to watch that interview. I don't want to feel like I'm riffing off of what they did, you know?
Right. Yep.
Here's that fucking symbol you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it obviously works against the fungus or the
Yeah, I like the way the skulls immediately like the life is taken out of them and they just start falling apart. That's pretty
yeah, they
cool.
just crumble. Yep.
This is another great the angle that you chose to come up from below. It's pretty
Mm.
cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I was trying a lot of stuff. This was a book that was really forcing me to push myself at the time. I think when you are trying to become a better artist, you go for things, you push yourself, they don't always work. But when they do work, well, now the next project that you work on, that's base level. You have to at minimum do as good as that. And picking interesting shots was sort of one of the things that I was working on in this book.
I love this fucking like demon book too right here.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of, now that I'm thinking about it, there's sort of a lot of Sam Raimi in this book, because that's sort of like the Necronomicon from Evil Dead.
Right.
And those skeletons, and there's like a few different like moments in there that are sort of like Army of Darkness, and I'm not sure if that's Mark's DNA or mine, probably both,
Hmm.
but it definitely wasn't a conscious thing.
This is when it just gets fucking nuts here, dude.
Yeah. So this is the farmer. His head was lopped off, but the mushroom grew onto his head, and then starts taking out these kids. Yeah, there's a gelatinous cube there that the elf runs into, and it just dissolves him as he goes into it.
But then it mutates him too, right?
No, it's sort of like he's fallen into jello, and it's dissolving him, so that you see his
Okay.
muscles there.
Okay.
I suppose I could have made that a little clearer. It's a hard thing to do when there's no color, but yeah, it's people are just getting wiped out left and right.
Yeah, this is fucking some insane fucking like I like this fucking does he have a name?
Stellan is his name.
Stellan. Okay.
Hmm.
Stellan the shit farmer. I
Stellan
love
the
how he like steps up to the plate here, dude. You know?
Yeah, this sword has been calling to him. That's sitting in the bottom of the pit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so running from this mushroom man, he dives in and goes and takes him out and gets this sword.
Yeah.
And everybody's sort of like, what the fuck? We split the party here. And you see the top row, the part of the party that stayed up and didn't fall. They went down another tunnel, and the thief guy found this treasure chest and went to open it, and it's a mimic. It's actually a creature. So it grabs him but with its tongue and bites him in half. And
Fucking the spine.
yeah, yeah.
Spine sticking out of the mouth.
Spine's just sticking out. Yeah.
Another great double page where we see the people that are living. These are the people below, right? That's who they are. These guys.
This is those below,
Yeah.
right. So they're just these and then you find out, you can see that it's actually the Prince Bishop and the head of the church. So they're about to sacrifice all their loved ones here. And you see this thing sort of, as the blood is pooling into this pentagram on the floor, this sort of magical shit is going up, and these sort of legs are forming in the middle of the place. And then you see what it is formed, I think. No, not in the neck, not in
No,
it's
not quite.
not yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, they start taking out
Yes.
these
Right here. Right
cultists.
here. There it
There we
is.
go. There it is.
There's this fucking beast.
Yeah.
Look at that thing between his legs.
Yeah. Beast in many ways.
Creepy as fuck, dude. This
Yeah.
face is so creepy.
Yeah,
I
it's a
definitely think it being black and white helps. I think the creepiness factor to me.
I think so too. I think so too. I like black and white. Black and white doesn't sell as well, but I love black and white,
Yeah.
just for the atmosphere.
The splat right here.
Yeah, the Prince Bishop gets killed by it. He was trying to sacrifice his daughter
Hmm.
to this thing.
I love the sword, how when it's talking like, you cannot leave me unsated. I need to bite into the flesh of a truly worthy adversary.
Yeah, it's sort of like an Elric
Hmm.
sword, needs blood. It's that trope.
And this is the princess, right? In his
Yes.
hand? Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty fucked up right here, bro. This is how you end the fucking book.
This is how we end
Fucking
issue one.
fucking fucking lops it off, and all the sword says, that's more like it.
And
What a great line to end the first issue on.
yeah, next issue, what is it?
Beneath the Underdark.
Beneath the Underdark, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool, man.
Yeah. And so I actually have started issue two. I think I've like got 16 pages done. I'm gonna wait, and oh yeah, and then here's the chick tracks from Ryan Brown of God Hates Astronauts and 8 Billion Genies fame.
This was pretty funny. This one made me laugh out loud for this the first page. Yeah, there's the first page.
Yeah.
Super funny. But yeah, and then the module is in the back.
Yeah, it was
Lay it
supposed to
all
be a
out here,
really
man.
quick, like you can play this in a day or in a couple hours kind of quick module, and it turned into, no, this is a full-on game. This is a full-on campaign. So
Yeah, this is nuts. I mean, I've never played D&D. I've never played role-playing games like this, but this is awesome. I mean, the level of work that goes into something like this, I can't even imagine. And so like that makes sense why this book took some time to get done, you know?
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's a great comic. I love it. You know, I'm a huge fan of your work. So
thanks, man.
for everybody that hasn't picked this up, make sure you head out to Golden Apple if you're local this
Yes,
Saturday.
Right, from 1 to 3 we'll be there. We're gonna do a little short play of the campaign. It'll be also be on Whatnot, Golden Apple's Whatnot channel or whatever. I don't know how you do that.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I'll be doing some drawings and signings, and yeah, come on out.
And then for everybody listening and watching too, I will drop links where you can follow Chris online and
Cool.
check out some more of his stuff. But yeah, dude, I always love chatting with you, so can't wait for the next time.
Thanks, brother.